Can Ohio State get another quarterback commit? Let's talk about it. Welcome into the Voice of College Football. I am your host, JR, and today we are going to be talking about quarterback commitment and what's that going to look like for the future, and do we have one that is going to be committing here this weekend? We're going to talk about that, but please first do like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that if you do that, and we would appreciate it if you're commenting and let us know your thoughts in the comment section as well. If you've been following Ohio State recruiting, especially quarterback recruiting, you know that they've struck out a few times in the 2026 class. Now, there's still hope that things are not all lost. They can still get a guy, but there is a lot more promise in the 2027 class than there is in the 2026 class. The 2027 class is because they have a guy named Brady Edmunds, who is a top quarterback in the 2027 class. He is the number 2 overall quarterback in On3 and 24/7. He is from Huntington Beach, California, recently offered by Ohio State back in June, and it's a special for him because his family has ties to Ohio State. His grandfather went to Ohio State. I don't believe he graduated from there, but he did go to Ohio State, and that's kind of where the fandom started for his family. His father passed that down to his grandfather passed that down to his father, and his father has now passed the fandom down to him. It's interesting though because Brady Edmunds was named after Tom Brady because it was either his father or his grandfather. It was his favorite player. So that is a little interesting there. But hey, you know what? If he's anything like Tom Brady in the NFL, I'll take it. That would be pretty awesome. But yeah, Bill Kurelic has done really good reporting on this, getting a lot of stuff from him and his history with his parents. Well, not only has Bill Kurelic done a good job with that, but Bill Kurelic is also reporting that Brady Edmunds will be in town for the Iowa game coming up this weekend, which looks like a huge opportunity for Ohio State to get him on campus and get him possibly committed this weekend. Before we talk about that, let's talk about who Brady Edmunds is in the scouting process and what he looks like as a prospect. Right now, he is a 4-star recruit. Now, this is 2027. They don't have any 5 stars in the 2027 class yet. That is just something they wait to do until the rankings are a little bit more solidified. They have the rankings out, but they're not going to be giving out 5 stars for at least a little bit longer. On3 currently has Brady Edmunds as the number 16 overall recruit. So does Rivals, and then 24/7 has him as the number 14 recruit. On3 has him as the number 6 player in California. 24/7 has him as the number 3 player in California. One of the reasons for that is because of his size. He is 6'5", 205 pounds as a sophomore in high school. This is a kid that has the size and is going to be able to produce at the next level for his size, if nothing else. And as we all know, that is one thing Ryan Day loves, is a quarterback with good size. Does not want to take quarterbacks who are under 6 feet. He wants to be taking guys who are tall, strong back there in the pocket. It's one of the reasons why I think he loved Will Howard in the portal, because he's tall, he's strong, and he's somebody who's going to endure those hits. Brady Edmunds threw for 2,691 yards his sophomore season and added 24 touchdowns to that total as well. So pretty good as a freshman. He is a big, strong pocket passer. He is not somebody that's going to be running the triple option, stuff like that. However, he does have some underrated athleticism. I would say that he is a pocket passer with mobility, which really at the end of the day, that's what you want. You don't want a dual threat guy who's going to be putting his body on the line all the time because you don't want him to get hurt. Now, do you want somebody to go pick up the first down if it's available? Of course, you always want that to happen, but you want somebody with more mobility rather than running ability, if that makes sense. Well, not only is he a good player with good strength and good size, he is also somebody that has a fantastic arm. He excels at throwing the deep ball and being accurate and on time with his receivers, which is fantastic. We love when we have a quarterback who can throw the deep ball, get it down to those speedy guys who can run past the defense, and also somebody who can deliver it on time, on the money, so that way the playmakers can get out in space and run around with the ball. Currently, Brady Edmunds has over 20 offers, and he's only a 2027 class kid, so that's pretty impressive. But he did recently narrow down his recruitment to 4 teams. Those 4 teams being Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, and that team up north. We hate to see that, but you know what? That's what he did. it is what it is. Edmunds has many crystal balls in to go to Ohio State, though, and even recruiting predictions from Chad Simmons and Steve Wiltfong as well for him to go to Ohio State. Many are thinking that he could commit this weekend, but he has not been shy of giving praises to the other teams that are in his top four. One of them being that team up north. He is praising Kirk Campbell, thinks that he is doing a great job with the offense. Now, when he gave this quote, it was the beginning of September. Now it's the end of September. Maybe I think it's a little bit different, but if he said it back then, he surely believes some of it still now, I would think. And he also talks about how they're contenders every year. He says, I would argue that they've only been contenders while Brady Edmunds has been in high school, but whatever. I'm not gonna knock the kid too much because that's just what he's seen in his life. However, Ohio State, he does say, is a national contender every single year. He really enjoys every coach that he's met, specifically Riley Larkin, an offensive assistant who came in from Middle Tennessee this past year. He shouted him out, gave him kind of some of his flowers, but definitely some good connections going on with Ohio State. Penn State, he likes some of the connections of the coaches there, Danny O'Brien being one of them, and he noted the stability of James Franklin in his program, saying that, implying that James Franklin is going to be around for the long haul at Penn State, and that is something that is attractive to him. And then finally, Texas, there's a coach there, AJ Milwee, that he shouted out, and also Steve Sarkisian and what he does to get players ready for the next level, specifically at the quarterback position. I would argue you have everything you said about that team up north, Texas and Penn State, you have at Ohio State, and it's better, right? You can say Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers are ready for the NFL, but guess what? They're not there yet. Ryan Day currently has two dudes in the NFL who are killing it right now, and Justin Fields and CJ Stroud. And on top of that, he talks about the stability of Penn State. Well, guess what? Ohio State, pretty stable too. They're committed to Ryan Day. Ryan Day's going to get it done this year. At the very least, beating that team up north, it's going to make the fans much happier. And I think he's going to beat that team up north for years to come as well. And then on top of that, let's be honest. I mean, all Brady has to do is go through a Wikipedia search and go through and see who has been contending for national championships every single year without cheating, right? It's Ohio State. We don't need to cheat to contend for national championships. Those guys up north, they do have to. And so he does a quick little Google search on that. He'll figure that out real fast. And I think the decision will be pretty easy for them, and I think that's why Ohio State has a great chance of, when they get him on campus this weekend, to get him to commit either while he's on campus or right after he comes off campus. He was at UCLA last weekend. Might seem like a little bit of a strange situation for him to go there since UCLA isn't in his top four, but it is somebody that's at a school that's close to him, and he's mentioned wanting to go to some of those games and just kind of experience those things as well. You can't blame the kid. If he wants to go, he wants to go. But like I said, he'll be at Ohio State this weekend to face off against Iowa. Well, for Ohio State facing off against Iowa, this is probably going to be Ohio State's third biggest recruiting weekend. It really seems like they're targeting Iowa, Nebraska, and Michigan. From what I've heard, it sounds like there's going to be more recruits at the Nebraska game, maybe more impactful 2025 recruits at the Nebraska game. And then obviously the game against that team up north, everybody wants a ticket for that game. Anything you can do to get inside the door, and then on top of that, to get on the field as well. They're going to have guys begging to come to that game that they're not even recruiting, because honestly, some of them might just be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll talk to you a little bit, just so they can get to that game, because it is such a massive game that everybody knows all the implications this year and what's on the line. Brady Edmunds did tell Bill Kurlick, I think it's definitely going to happen sooner rather than later, talking about his commitment. He says, strong chance it happens before the end of the year. So these are more good things that are pointing in Ohio State's way with the visit coming up, that he could possibly commit on the visit or right after. If he's saying sooner rather than later, that gives me a whole lot of things to think about. And then he also told Chad Simmons, the family aspect is big for me. My football coach will be like a father figure in my life. The relationship is important when I commit to the school. Well, there's not many schools out there better at creating relationships than Ohio State. Ryan Day is here for the long haul. Ryan Day is going to be here for a long time. And how do guys like Justin Fields and CJ Stroud talk about Ryan Day? They talk about how influential he was, how great of a guy guy he is. And I mean, it speaks volumes to how much those guys want to come back on campus and be around the team and be around head coach Ryan Day as well. So I think it's pretty safe to say Ryan Day has that section of it covered as well. At the end of the day, will Brady Edmunds commit to Ohio State this weekend? You want my prediction. That's what you came here for. You don't want the other jargon. I get it. The sooner rather than later quote is very interesting to me. It for sure makes it sound like this is a strong possibility. However, he does have a Texas visit coming up. That's going to be on October 12th, the game against Georgia. So that is going to be a big situation. Does he want to go to that game? Would he possibly cancel that game, or cancel that visit? Or is he going to commit and still go on that visit? It's really interesting to think about. I think if Ohio State can really excel in this visit and really take off and just knock it out of the park with Brady Edmunds will commit to Ohio State either on the visit or shortly after. He might still go to Texas and Georgia just because it's that crazy of a thing, crazy of an environment, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I think Brady Edmunds commits, and I think he commits on this weekend or right after this weekend. Look, Ohio State's the dream school. Ohio State is where he wants to be. Ohio State is where he's been a fan of his entire life. He wants to be there. And so I think if it does happen, actually I think it will happen. Like I said, I predict that it will. It's going to happen after this weekend. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I feel most strong in my prediction that he will be a Buckeye at some point. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think. If you think, oh no, JR, I think you're wrong, let me know in the comment section. Or if you think I'm right, you agree with me, hey, we got this guy. He's in the bag. He's going to come right after the Iowa game. Going to come back and commit. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Check me out over on the Big Ten Voice of College Football channel every Saturday night, Sunday night, and Tuesday night, chopping it up with Zach, talking about power rankings, talking about Big Ten football, all those different things. And then stay tuned for some good content coming soon. We got a few more things that are here in the works on the Ohio State channel, possibly a new live stream, not just Mark and the guys hanging out on Wednesdays, but also a little bit more stuff. So we'll see. We'll let you know, but we're definitely working on some stuff right now. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a good one.